This is a tutorial on how to make a duct tape wallet. I know there are other tutorials on YouTube about duct tape wallet making, but none of them make the wallet that I like best. It's a very simplistic and elegant wallet that has two places for holding cards and a billfold. First off, let's talk about the tools you're going to need. It's pretty simple. Roll of duct tape, X-Acto knife or scissors, although I like the X-Acto knife better, and a ruler. You're going to want to make some precise measurements, reasonably precise measurements, and so it's good to have a ruler. Otherwise your wallet can get way too big pretty easily, or it can be really goofy and small, and then when you're done you're pissed off because your money won't fit. To make the wallet, we're basically going to make a T shape out of duct tape that's stuck to itself, and then to fold that up and over and then hook it all together. So in order to do that, it'd be nice to know exactly what measurements you should use to make a billfold that your money will fit in, that your cards will fit in, and that will also close nicely. So what I've done is drawn out the dimensions so that if you want to do this yourself, you can copy this down and know what measurements to make. So these are all in inches. Before we get started, I wanted to show you this old wallet that I had that I just retired. I use this every single day for about a year and a half, and it's pretty ratty now. But just to give you an idea of, a little bit of duct tape goes a pretty long way. You could have a wallet for a year or more with just a couple feet of duct tape. So what I've done here is I've put two strips of tape down and onto one of these kind of art cutting boards. What's nice about these boards is that duct tape sticks to them, but when you peel it up, it peels up easily. It's still tacky, so it's not leaving a bunch of sticky on the board. And also because this board's made for cutting, and it has the measurements on here, you just look at your measurements, make your cuts with the ruler and X-Acto knife, and everything's square and beautiful. And I know, it's not punk rock to measure, but you know what? It's also not punk rock to be punk rock. So here I've made the first side of the T and cut it appropriately. I had a little bit of overlap and took my X-Acto knife and chopped out, so we got our nice measurements here. Also, just wanted to comment, each of these pieces here is made up of two pieces of tape that end up being 3 inches wide. If you remember back here on our diagram, you want these to be 3 inches wide at the end. So that ends up being two pieces of tape kind of overlapping by about 3/4 of an inch. And then with the bottom of the T overlapping as well by just a little bit, maybe like 1/4 of an inch or so. It doesn't have to overlap too much. But anyway, we've got the first side. Now I'm gonna pick this up and flip it over, and then we're gonna make the other side of the T so that it looks like this, where there's no stickiness anywhere. All right. So what I've done here is covered up the sticky part of the T that we made with another layer of tape. And actually this is a bit easier than the previous version because you don't actually have to measure this. You can just kind of eyeball it. You always want your tape to overlap a little bit, because what we're going to do now is going to peel this up, and there's tape on both sides, but we do want a little bit of overlap at the top so that we can fold the edges down. You don't want the tape to just meet the top of the other piece of tape, because things going to be in your pocket and it's going to wear on those edges. The edges need to be tough, and so to make them tough, we want to have, like we have here, a little bit extra tape to roll over so that we've got actually 3 layers of tape on the very edges. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to trim this a little bit, peel this up, and then fold over those edges. So here I've flipped over the tape and I have prepared the edges, and what I did here on these edges was I just took the X-Acto knife and I cut it at a 45-degree angle. on the other edges, the outer edges, what I did, and I forgot to do this edge, but these outer edges I cut, and not at a 90-degree angle, but rather at a little bit further than a 90-degree angle, because when I fold this over onto here, I do not want any of this tape to touch this side, this sticky part that I haven't yet folded over. And I've found that when I do it at exact right angles, just the slightest misfold makes some of the tape stick over onto this area, and I just don't want that. And so to have like a neater finish and a cleaner edge, I do at a very slight off angle. Once you've got the T made, you're almost done. So we got everything folded up here. Got all the edges are smooth. There's no air bubbles in anything. So what you want to do is fold the middle in and make a crease. Can't do it so well with one hand while I hold the camera, but you get the idea. And then fold in the flaps. And when you fold the flap in, transfer this tape here. When you fold the flap in, go ahead and tape it down, because what we're going to do is we're going to take another piece of tape and lay it across here, and then one more piece of tape and lay it across. We'll pull this piece of tape up, lay it across here. So it's just going to lay down flat, like it's going to tape it to the artboard, and I'll show you what we do after you do that. Alright, so you don't have to make the tape too much longer than the wallet that you're laying down. This is 2 strips of tape. Started at the very edge of the wallet, so if it was on this side it would just start right along here. And it only goes over as far as the flap comes in. So I can still reach underneath here. Okay, the piece of tape is just right on the very edge of this flap. And then what you do is you pick it up, and this part is going to fold into the billfold, and this part is going to fold over the outside of the wallet. And what that does is it affixes your card pocket to the billfold. Alright, so pretty much done here. Take in and fold it over on both sides, put the pockets down. Now you're ready to put your money in there and your cards, and good to go for a year and a half. You might feel like this wallet is too long because your money, you know, all your Benjamins, there's a lot of extra room here. So actually, one way that you can change this is, instead of making this 8, you can do this at 7 3/4 inches, or 7.5 inches, and then just cut that same amount off here. So you can make it 7.5. You want to keep these at 3 1/4 so that your credit cards fit in the pocket that you create, and you want to keep these at 3 inches, because this little black wallet that I made, I did it at 2 3/4 inches, and the money actually almost peeks out the top. I feel like 3 inches is a better amount, but you know, if you don't like that, then you can make one that's like this little dude, a little bit smaller, a little more compact, and maybe that does a trick for you. So enjoy. I hope you learned something, and if you do end up making a duct tape wallet, you know, tell me about it. And if you make one that's better, if you modify this design, make a video and link it to mine. Alright, take care.